What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy. Something. Hit the keys. Here today to do a quick review and demonstration over RF-DSP by Ronan Fed. RF-DSP is a free multi-effect plugin that you can use on everything. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But let's go ahead and get right into this review. Some, hit the key. All right, guys. So when you open up the plugin, it is going to look like this. Has a pretty simple but straightforward looking GUI. As you can see here, you get EQ, you get delay, you get reverb, you get a compressor, you get distortion, and you also get a stereo enhancer, and then you get some controls for each one of the modules down here. I made a little sample beat as always. I used RF-DSP on everything. I used it on the drums, the 808, the vocals, the guitar, the piano. I literally use this plugin on everything. So the beat, of course, not all the way mixed down, but let's go. All right, guys, so that's the little sample beat that I put together for you guys today. Let's go ahead and hop back into RF-DSP and check it out. So we're going to go ahead and start off right here on this piano. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this whole little region right here. Actually, no, I'm going to highlight this region right here. And so let's go ahead and start off with this piano. So before I put RF-DSP on the piano basically sounded like this. So some basic chords, but once I threw RF-DSP on there, I got it to sound like this. So with this, what's cool about this plugin, again, I can't stress this enough, is like with this EQ, it's got this width control down here. So you've got 3 different bands, so you can control the width of your EQ on the low frequencies, the mid frequencies, and the high frequencies. Super solid effect there for a multi-effect plugin. So if you listen, you can hear the little bit of split. You can hear it's a little more wide in the higher frequencies on that piano. But then you also have, your bass, your mid, your highs, all that stuff. Then you have delay next to that. With the delay, you only get 2 modes. You get stereo and ping pong, but you get all these different time divisions in which you can split it up. You have your dampening, your offset, and your feedback. You have a low pass, high pass, and band pass on your filter. You have a cutoff, and you have resonance down here as well. So super solid. We'll mess with delay just a little bit. So then you also have more controls over here with the dampening, the offset, so on and so forth. And then so next to that, we have reverb. So we can mess with reverb as well. So it's a pretty decent reverb. It is a hall reverb, I believe. Next to that, we have a compressor. It does everything that a compressor does. You have your threshold right here, your ratio, your gain, your over easy. We'll get to the compressor here a little bit later on the drums. Next to that, we have distortion. With distortion, we have overdrive, hard clip, bit crusher, and saturation. And then next to that, we also have a stereo enhancer. So the stereo enhancer is pretty solid. It sounds like this. So you can hear how it's offsetting the sounds and it's basically spreading them out there in your stereo field. Super solid effect as well. But I want to go ahead and play this on some vocals next. So I used these on the arcade vocals that I had, but you'll notice here, like on the arcade, I made the vocals all the way dry. So I took all the effects off the vocals so that the vocals then in essence sounded like this. Ego, ego. All right, and then once I threw the RF-DSP on there, I got them to sound like this. So super fire again. I just threw everything on there except for the stereo enhancer, but it probably would have sounded nice with the stereo enhancer on there as well. That sounds pretty fire though, the way that it's super, you know, spread out and it's loud in both ears. Sounds super fire. So we'll go ahead and turn that back down. I also used it over here on my guitar. So my guitar sounded like this without the RF-DSP on there. And then once I threw the RF-DSP on there, I got it to sound like this. And so you'll see I did use the stereo enhancer for this one. One thing that I didn't mention, but I'm sure you guys could pick up through the demonstration so far, is in order to turn each module on, you just have to click on it. When you see the color, that means it's on. If the color is off, that means it's off. One thing that I do wish that this plugin did have though, is I feel like at this point, all multi-effect plugins need to be able to move their modules around. So I feel like I should be able to move this distortion to the left or to the right if I want to. So I could be able to change the actual flow of the effects, you know, the signal chain. But we don't have that. But again, it's a free plugin and it's a pretty solid free multi-effect plugin. So that's how I used it on the guitar. Let's go ahead and check out how I use it on the 808. So on the 808, I did use kickstart so I could duck the 808 when the kick was playing. So we'll go ahead and mute kickstart for a second. And this is the 808 that I use, just a super plain 808. You guys know the 808, it's the 808 I always use because it's super plain and it's not colored, so I can put effects on there and you can really hear the difference. So now once I threw the RF-DSP on there, it sounds like this. So on this, I use the EQ, I use the compressor, and I use the distortion. And that's how I got it to sound like that. But again, you know, you can dial in the distortion sound that you want. So as you can see there, there's a few different distortion types, a few different things that you can do. So like if we played that with the piano, let's just go ahead and play that with the piano, and we'll play that with the bells that I had going too. So you can see once you get that 808 into the actual beat with other melodic pieces playing and so on and so forth, that distortion sounds pretty good in my personal opinion. So now let's check it out on some drums, because you know I threw it on some drums too. You know what I'm saying? What would a multi-effect demonstration beat from Some without it on the drums. So I did throw it on the drums, but what I did was I threw it on the drum bus. So I have the kick here, I have the snare here, I have the hi-hats here, and then I bust them out over here and I threw the RF-DSP on that. So this is basically what the drums sounded like without the RF-DSP on there. All right, so now this is what it sounds like with the RF-DSP on there. So super crunchy drums now, you know what I'm saying? So all I basically did was threw a little bit of distortion on there, and then I messed with this compressor a little bit, but that's all I really did. You know, I could have even went as far as throwing some reverb on there if I wanted to. You know, I could have EQ'd them if I wanted to. I could have thrown the stereo enhancer on them. All right, guys, so that's basically the plugin for you guys in a nutshell. I already know a bunch of you guys are going to ask below in the comment section, how does this multi-effect plugin compare to RC20? I would just say that they're different. Because with RC20, you know, you're going to get vinyl, tape noises and stuff like that. You're going to get warble. You're going to get all kinds of different stuff that this plugin doesn't do. But this plugin kind of focuses more on the basic effects and doing the basic effects right and having them all in the same plugin. That's not very CPU intensive. So take that for what it's worth. You know, you could use this with RC20. Again, this is free. So even if you have RC20, I might recommend grabbing this. I think it's pretty solid. I think it's, you know, got the right modules in it, especially for a free multi-effect plugin. My cons with the multi-effect plugin though would be that one, sometimes when you click on the screen, like when you go out and you go back in, the screen is blank. So all of the letters and everything on the screen disappear, but all you have to do is click off the plugin and click it back on and it fixes the problem. My other con would be that you can't move modules around, but again, I know it's a free plugin, so I'm not going to harp too much on it. I think it's solid. I recommend that you go grab it. Make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. All right, guys and gals, thanks for watching the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Make sure you hit that notification bell so every time a new video comes out, you can be the first to know. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next in the comments, and see you next time.
Some, hit the key.